Like, who really has an empty, large room to play a game in the middle of the night? I guess maybe if you just moved into a house. That then says housewarming, like inviting some demons. What's up, Rad Fam? Today we are going to explore another terrifying paranormal game ritual. I cannot personally get enough of these, so whenever I see you guys are down to learn more about these spooky sleepover games, it just makes me really happy. Today though, we are going to be exploring the very creepy and very complex, all these tend to be really hard to do, but this one especially, I feel like, is just setting yourself up for failure if you're going to play this. And the game today is called Three Kings. So let's get to it. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Kaylena. Thank you so much for stopping by and joining the Rad Fam. But if you have been here for a minute and you've seen my other videos on paranormal, urban legend games, I like to go over a little bit about the ritual itself and then to use the website as reference and go over the actual ritual instructions. Huge disclaimer though, please never, ever, okay, we established this, play any of these paranormal games, whether you believe in the paranormal or not. That's for you to decide. I'm not going to tell you if it's true or not, but it can be dangerous either way, either for paranormal reasons or just real life reasons. So keep yourself safe. Let this be a spooky story, but please just, whenever we talk about something scary, please just don't do it. And with that, let's move on to the ritual. So a little bit about Three Kings itself. This is a ritual that seems to really take off, especially when the 3 a.m. challenge really took off on YouTube, maybe 2 years ago. I think 2017 is when the 3 a.m. challenge really blew up. But this ritual game existed long before the popularity of the 3 a.m. challenge. This article right here that I'm going to reference the instructions, it itself was written in 2014, just to give you a time frame. Now this is actually said to be one of the most dangerous, you should never ever play paranormal games to ever exist. Ooh, and we're gonna get into why in just a second. Apparently, like I said, it's so complex, there's just a lot of opportunity for things to go horribly wrong for you. This one's more so for the curious. It's to ask questions to these mysterious entities. But if you do manage to get your questions answered, apparently, they might not be the most trustworthy people answering these questions, and you should take them with a bucket of salt. Besides that, there really isn't much more to this urban legend, at least not from what I can see, explaining how it works. It doesn't really seem to have much of a backstory besides just people's scary personal stories while playing this game. So with that, I think we should just move on to the instructions, what to expect from this urban legend, what things can go wrong. So let's just dive into the actual ritual now. So for this paranormal game, you're actually going to have 2 players. There's going to be one person actively playing the game, and then there's going to be a partner who's going to help you set up things, be there to tell you when to do certain things, and more so just for security in case, I guess, things go terribly wrong. Now, this website makes a point in all caps, bold font letters, that the players both have to be fully concentrated on this game and on playing it correctly, not skipping over any of the long steps, not slacking off, not treating this as a joke. Apparently, if they do, it can just bring a lot of bad stuff into your life. Now, the requirements for this game is a lot more extensive than any of the other games we've covered so far. It needs a lot, and maybe this is why it's said to be so dangerous, just because if someone doesn't have one of these things and doesn't think they need it to proceed, maybe it just causes some not so great things to happen. The major thing that is needed is one large, quiet, and empty room. So it can't be a bedroom because there's too much furniture. I guess the whole point is to be secluded and wrapped up in darkness. Oh, so fun. And maybe it's also so that things can't distract the person playing, or it limits what the mind can play tricks on. If you had a chair in your corner that had a blanket over it, maybe while playing the game, you would think that it's something scary and would bail. Just something to consider. Who really has an empty, large room to play a game in the middle of the night, I guess maybe if you just moved into a house. That then says housewarming, like inviting some demons. Of course, the player will need a pack of candles, a lighter to light the candles, a bucket of water is very important, a mug, an electric fan, very specific. 2 large mirrors, because those are like your main playing tools. 3 chairs, 1 alarm clock, 1 fully charged cell phone, fully charged. And you know, that's kind of a rarity here. And 1 small object of sentimental value. Oh God, see, like that's just a long list of things needed for this that I can see how people would probably skip like the alarm clock or the sentimental object. Maybe not even intentionally. So I can kind of see why all these websites say, hey, you should never play these games, but you know, play Bloody Mary, don't play Three Kings. Okay, so besides having so many requirements to actually do the ritual, there's so many steps involved with the ritual. Like, so many. Like, it is time consuming. This will take up a chunk of the night. Basically all of the night though, because if you think about like gathering everything and making the plans with somebody else. So like this is a whole night. That's dedication to spookiness. You know what I'm saying? So before the ritual even actually starts, there's a list of things that need to be completed. Step 1 says that setting up for the ritual should begin at 11 p.m. no later. Oh my gosh, Meredith just moved behind me and it scared me. But once it hits 11 p.m., that's it. You're dedicated to this. Do not leave the house. Like even for a second. Next, they're actually going to set up to play the ritual. And they're said to have to place 1 chair facing north in the center of the designated dark room. This chair will be your throne. Place the other 2 chairs on either side of the throne facing it, an arm's length away. Those chairs, 1 will be a queen's chair and 1 will be a fool's chair. Now they can't tell you which one it's gonna be because that changes. And apparently that's where a lot of the spookiness comes in. So once the chairs are set up, the person's going to place 1 of the 2 mirrors on the queen's chair and the other on the fool's chair. The mirror should be perpendicular to the chair seat, facing both of each other. So I'm like this, the 2 chairs and the mirrors are facing me so that I can see them out of the peripheral of my vision. That's very important. That's like the point of the game. That's where the scary factor really amplifies. It's very important that the player should be able to see the mirrors, but not have like an in-focused view of them. Because later on, when they're playing the game, they're gonna need to see if there's any movement or shadows or what have you, but they can't just turn their face and stare at the thing that might or might not appear in front of them or beside them. Oh, this is giving me the goosebumps just thinking about it. Then the player is going to place the bucket of water and the mug in front of them, just out of their own reach. Then they're going to place the fan behind the throne. So the water in front, throne behind, chairs on the side. You keeping track? It's a lot. And specifically, the fan is said to have to be set to a medium or low, and they're supposed to turn it on. You know, I guess if you want a cool little breeze tickling the back of your neck when you're scared and all alone in a dark room, summoning some demons. Okay. Now, this is the point. Once everything is set up, the player and the partner are said to leave the room, but keep the door open. Because they're not going to play the game right away. There has to be like a little lull period after setup and actual playing, because this urban legend is very time sensitive. Make sure the phone is charging and set the alarm clock for 3:30 exactly a.m. You know, the witching hour? We did a witching hour deep dive into the whole urban legend challenge. And, you know, there's a lot of terrifying things that people allege to happen around that time of night. And then they're said to sleep. I don't know how on earth they're gonna sleep. You're about to be summoning some creepy things at 3:30. Why would you want to take a nap right now? That was everything you needed to know to set it up. But now it's time to actually play. And again, I'm telling y'all for entertainment purposes only, do not play this, please. My conscience needs to be clear. Okay, so now it's time. The person is said to wake up at 3:30 a.m. right on the dot. So if you're a snoozer, GG's, you can't play. You gotta get up right when it goes off and make your way to the room. The person wants to make sure that they hold on to the power object, pick up the phone, light 1 candle, and return to the room. So make sure the candle's lit before you actually enter the room. I guess that is very, very important. But you only have a couple minutes to do this, because if the game is to be played successfully, the player needs to be in the seat in that dark room between the mirrors facing them with the fan on and the water in front of them at exactly 3:33 a.m. This website then takes a moment and says all the things that if they are to happen, to not play the game. Like if one of these goes off, the ritual is not going to be completed correctly. Things can go wrong, so terribly wrong, or might just simply not work. Do not proceed if the cell phone did not charge, the alarm did not go off right at 3:30, as the person approaches the dark room, they find the door is closed. Oh, that literally sent a chill down my spine. As the player approaches the dark room, they find the fan is turned off. Oh, again, so scary. Or the player is not seated on the throne, the designated chair that they're supposed to sit in the middle of the two mirrors, at precisely 3:33 a.m. So if it's 3:32, 3:34, tough luck, you messed up. Can't play. Oh, but here's the real fun part. Should anything actually occur that go wrong, it's not as simple of, oh, okay, darn, can't play, gotta wait for tomorrow. Oh, no, honey. No. You and your partner need to leave your home because it is deemed unsafe. Something spooky's happening. Something doesn't want you to be there. Something has come and deemed you unfit to play with it. And apparently that can just be very dangerous. So you and your partner are supposed to leave your house and not return until after 6 a.m. So I don't know where you would go. It's the middle of the night. Nothing's really open. I guess maybe go get a really early breakfast. But if nothing goes wrong, then the player can proceed to the game. So once they've taken their seat, don't look from the side, not even for a second, not even if you see something moving, not even if something calls for your attention. Nope, can't look. The candle is said to need to be protected and it cannot go out. So the player has to use their body to shield the flame from the blowing fan. This is the point that the ritual is in full effect. And should they have any questions they want to ask these entities that are going to be summoned and appear in the mirrors next to them, this is when they can ask them. Now, a reason why they say that the questions are unreliable is in one of the mirrors is the queen, and in the other mirror is going to be the fool, but it may not be clear which is which. So a fool is going to make a lot of jokes, right? So that is presumably who you shouldn't trust if they answer you, but since you can't look in the mirror, you're not quite sure who's who. Oh my gosh, this is literally giving me goosebumps. Now the player has a long time to have to sit here with the fan blowing on. I'm sure the chill's already going up and down the spine. It's said that the player cannot leave their seat until 4:34 a.m. That is a really long time. That is an hour and a minute. I would not want to be in a dark room just by myself, like just chilling for an hour and a minute. I don't want to be sitting here summoning some creepy things for an hour and a minute. This is too long. Bloody Mary is nice because it's a few seconds, you know? Oh gosh, this one is really not meant for me. But of course with these ritual games, you can't just up and leave. There has to be an official closing to the ritual to close that door to the other world or other what have you. So at 4:34, the partner should call out the player's name to end the game. It wasn't actually mentioned before, I don't think, but the partner's never actually supposed to go into the room when the ritual starts. They're supposed to just be somewhere else in your house as like a safety net to let you know when it's time to conclude. Should this fail, your partner should call your cell phone. Should this fail, your partner should enter the room and without touching you, use the bucket of water and mug, and I guess splash it on you to get your attention, because apparently if you're left in there too long, you can be put into a trance or a daze. That's some really spooky stuff. Why is that gonna happen? So it's like taking control of you a little bit? Oh, no. Oh, this is awful. Now, to further cement how terrifying this game can be to play, this website again includes a bunch of warnings. If the player's body is suddenly moved, like they felt like something moved it, or they twitched, or they got tired and stretched, the candle is said to blow out, and when that happens, the game's over. You gotta leave. You gotta, again, leave your house till 6 a.m. Should the player become lost or disoriented, their power object will guide them back. That is some like insidious stuff right there. No thank you. Do not attempt to stay in the home should these red flags appear. There's various things that are claimed to happen if something were to go wrong, like you can start seeing shadows move in your house even when you're not playing, that you can actually feel like there's someone watching you in your house. You can even feel like someone's in the room with you. Just like spooky, haunted, cursed type things that you don't want to bring onto yourself, unless you do, but that's on you then. Like I said, I can't tell you what your experience would be. That's for you to experience and decide for yourself, though you should never play these games. Nonetheless, I just think it's really spooky and interesting to talk about. So with that, I would love to know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think this game can really summon something? And if so, what is it summoning? Or do you think, no, it's just like a spooky game to scare yourself and your friend? I would love to know what you guys think down in the comments. And if you liked today's video and want to see more urban legend games like this, please give this video a big thumbs up so I know that you want to see more. And until next time, keep it the radness, and I'll see you real soon. Bye. And to try to make up for scaring you guys, here is a cute little moment of my cat Meredith.